Hello everyone, I'm Repeat and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be solving the problem of getting times under 200 seconds. If you're struggling to get your times on circuit under 200 seconds, you come to the right place. Before we get stuck in, I just want to say huge thanks to, the sponsors of the video, Smug Gaming and Zdog, or Kaka the Epic on Discord. These guys let me use their private server and raced with me over and over again for a really long time until I got my two best recorded runs on the circuit map, which I'm going to show you while commentating on what I did and how I did it. These guys are awesome and huge thanks to them. So to get your times under 200 seconds, there are a lot of steps involved. First thing that I personally find really helpful is to lower your graphics settings, and not just because you'll get a higher frame rate, but because having less of a map rendered gives you less distractions. In general, Roblox will lower the amount of the map that's rendered when you lower the graphics, not just the textures and the particle effects and reflections. So lowering it to about 3 gives you enough of the track that you can see, and also doesn't show as much of the other terrain to distract your eyes from the track. Because when you have a really fast car, you want to be focusing on the track more, because the faster you go, the harder it's going to be to control your car. That's the first thing you're going to want to do. And although you might have a really good PC, it's still ideal for racing to reduce the distractions. But in terms of distractions as well, turn off your chat. Just close the chat so you're not seeing any text messages or anything like that. If you're having an argument with someone who's pulled up to a drag race with a Tesla and you're really angry with them, but you just want to grind for some money, just ignore that fact. You need to focus on the race. The next thing I want to point out is that so many people, when they crash once, or if they see a car they think is too fast, give up on the race. Now, two big things that you're not realizing when you do that. Number one, giving up when you see someone who you think is fast means you're guaranteed to get no money for that race, and you're going to have to wait for another queue. During that time, you could be racing with them and earning money not just while racing, but if you come second place, you're still going to get 22k. So I still think that's really good. I would still do it, and I actually did do it before I got the really good cars that do come first. So yeah, you just need to go at it. If you crash as well, don't just give up and leave the race. You can still earn money, and not just that, you're still practicing by continuing the race. Giving up is you just do not give up. Just don't give up. You just keep going, keep pushing at it. I had to try this so many times to get a time under 175 seconds for the circuit race. I crashed so many times, you would not believe it. And yet I'm still going at it and still trying to get a time under 170 seconds to this day. So just don't give up, dead set. That's my next biggest tip. The next thing I want to point out is that you can't say that it's your car that's the problem. I am using a car that I prefer, and although there are cars that have insane handling and acceleration and can brake really fast, which are really, really good for a circuit race, such as the Cavallo 799 I'm using in this video, which is a Game Pass vehicle that you can buy at stock for 1.9 million. There were so many kids that I've played with who called me a hacker because I used their car almost no matter what it was and easily got a time under 180 seconds, and they called me a hacker. And it's not because I've test driven all of the cars in the game almost at this point. It's more the fact that I've had so much practice that I know what to do with almost any car you give me. I can learn in the first 2 corners of the track, just from practicing with my starting outside and aiming for the middle as I take a corner, braking in, accelerating out. Just from having practiced so much, they can give me almost any car and I'll beat their time. Now the guy at the time that called me hacker, and this was a few days ago, he called me a hacker because I got a time of, I think it was 178 using his Agera AR. Agera AR. So he was wall riding most of the time, so he would just hit a wall and then just go around it. Walls, when you hit them, you instantaneously lose something like 50, 75 kilometers an hour, all the way up to as much as 150 to 200 kilometers an hour of speed. So you want to make sure that you're hitting those corners right. So just like that, you might have seen my speed go down by a fair significant chunk. Momentum is very important. Taking corners right means you maintain your momentum. So you're maintaining that good speed. So not slowing down too much and not hitting walls is very important. To avoid walls and to avoid bumps, to avoid hills, to avoid things you don't want to hit, what you need to be doing is aiming for the outside of a turn. So as you'll see in this lap here, I'm going for the outside, slowing down a bit, not going below 250 for this first corner, and then aiming for the middle of the track, and then going around it and accelerating out of the corner. So try and find the spot where you don't want to go below when you're practicing. So for me, it's about 250 kilometers an hour. I don't want to try and get below that. And if I do, well then I guess I'll just try again. So aim for the outside, then the middle, and then accelerate out. This S-bend, you want to sort of stay in the middle of the track in general, because there is 2 turns. That one is a little bit tricky. You might need a bit of practice with that. I still hit walls in there to this day. So yeah, aim for the middle. The next thing I want to point out is, and it's coming up on this track now, you don't need to stay on the track to hit the checkpoints. You can just skip over the track. So that bit there, you can just skip over the grass. As long as you're going through the checkpoints, you're completing the map, you're still getting that percentage up. You don't need to stay on the track, and the grass only very slightly impacts your speed. So you might need to do a bit of trading of that. So yeah, those are my biggest tips. And if you study how I've raced in this video, and you practice what I've told you over and over and over again, you're going to get times easily under 180 seconds, and you're going to be smashing your opponents almost no matter what car you have. I hope you guys found this video really helpful, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the chat of my stream this Saturday or in the comment section of another video. Bye.